to be in a room of people who are so passionate about mentoring. So I thought I'd just say, why don't we just take a moment to breathe for a second and enjoy this beautiful gift of mentorship and all of the wonderful wisdom and guidance that everyone here is an everyday mentor. So I'd love you to close your eyes for a second and breathe in and breathe out, because sometimes we forget that mentorship is really about that presence. Just be here for a moment. We've all been rushing to get here. Some things may not work the way we want them to, so breathe out again. And imagine a world where everyone has a mentor, where everyone is lifted up, and then that ripple effect continues. Because of mentorship, for me, if everyone has one, is a better world. So, I wanted to tell you a little bit about an underground mentor program that was at my last corporate organization. That was about 10 years ago, and I was in the product marketing and management team at the time, and I was using my legal and HR background in a completely new way. And at one of our team meetings, someone said, "Did you know there's a mentor program at this organization?" And some of us had been there for a couple of years. And we all said, no, what is this? It was about mentorship for emerging leaders. And then I found out that there were many mentor circles that were not formal, but started in some areas for, let's do this, quote unquote, senior leaders. So our team was a little bit surprised because there's 85,000 employees at this company. And I thought, what about the rest? Why not mentorship for everyone else? So that's what started my spark on my journey of researching and studying mentorship and thinking about not only formal programs, because I'm a huge fan and proponent of those, of course, and that's why everybody here is to support them and do them well. But what about those moments in the spaces between the formal programs, the everyday mentorship, that connection when you talk to someone in a hallway and you say, I'm really trying to figure out this challenge I have. Maybe we can have a little chat about it. So that's what I wanted to build on this, because really it is those networks. It is who's in your corner. So I would love for us to think about not necessarily a better program, but better noticing in the field of mentorship. I see what I've been seeing lately in research and talking to people. I've interviewed about 60 people about their mentorship experiences, and many of them were organic, but it's not being tracked. So I loved hearing this morning already about the science and the data. Is there a way to actually track this part of mentorship as well? So before I get into casual micro-mentoring moments, we have heard all of those other types of mentorship. And I wanted to bring us back to how does it work? And I think psychological safety, and I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about that. We're going to hear about belonging. Without that, I don't think people can actually let mentorship in. And Dr. Amy Edmondson, she did a study in 2024, and it was with 27,000 healthcare workers. And her belief that psychological safety is really about being able to speak up. And even if it's in a meeting or a one-on-one conversation, without feeling embarrassed or rejected or punished for it. So really, we need this psychological safety. Everybody's heard that term probably a lot these days. Really, how do we bring that into the mentoring exchanges as a foundational condition? There's so many protective benefits from it, even in stress and burnout, if we can provide that environment. So I was thinking about, well, will the mentoring programs work without it? Because if your culture doesn't have that feeling of safety, no matter what we do, no matter what resources we put towards better mentor programs, they likely aren't going to be as successful. So it's interesting, I made a note, Lisa, about it's the soil to grow in. So I loved your analogy today. And it's really about the trust and how do you build trust, even in a quick exchange. Maybe it's already there. Can we create those environments? So I heard a lot this morning at the keynote about culture and unique experiences. So this is part of it, letting it in. I do have a paper I can share with some of the studies and a longer extension of what I'm talking about today. So I can send that to you because I was really having a hard time boiling it down to 8 minutes. But really there's a National Institute of Health study, and it looked at casual mentoring. And it's really, for me, it's about saying, let me know if I can help, and actually meaning it. And so these organic, spontaneous, unprescribed moments, those gifts, that experience and knowledge, regardless of your position of title, they're available for us. And there is some data that we can look at to support all of this as a parallel to the formal mentor programs. Another study was Professor Holly Blake, a 2025 peer-reviewed paper on micro-mentoring. And she had about 30 years of experience. And really, one of the concerns was how do we track and measure this? So if anyone is the science, come to me later, we'll talk about it. I only have a short period of time left. But as I was thinking about this and researching and studying, I decided that I would start with my organization, Life Works Well, an initiative called 1 Million Mentor Moments. And we started it in the fall, and we've been reaching out to track these moments. And what we're finding is there were 3 things that would help it. One is to, first of all, notice it in those everyday exchanges, that this is actually a mentor moment. It's hard to believe that this is happening. And the other one is to then name it. This is a mentor moment. We have just had this time. And then it is to nurture it. I would love if you would share those with me and formalize this data. And at the end of the day, I think what it really is about is bringing in the human to that everyday mentor connection. Thank you.